and welcome to another side quest episode of Talk This. It's dangerous to podcast alone. I'm one of your hosts, Madeline, your specialist in side quest introductions, and you know the drill. Emma and I are talking about 10 topics, 5 each, a minute apiece. It's a 10-minute awesome Talk This. Let's go!
85 hours, and I have beaten the final boss of Persona 5. And it's a bit of an experience. I would say I still have about 2 to 3 hours left to wrap up, depending on how much I take my time with it. But I have really sort of come to the end of this epically long game. And I don't know who at Atlas can see the future, but for a game made in Japan that was supposed to come out in 2014, it's been kind of reflective of the state of the United States in 2017. And honestly, I might write something for the blog about this, but I mean, Persona 5, as much as it eats your life away, is all about trying to teach you how to make the most out of your life. Not maybe to the meticulous OCD degree that you may do it in Persona 5, but it's trying to tell you that there's a lot out there to experience, and the world is only as big as you let yours be. So that's a good message for me.
So this is the Madeline moves out of her dorm room edition of Talk This, where I'm recording this right before I have to return the microphone to my school library before I leave college forever. But could somebody make some kind of video game that makes packing fun? Because it's not fun. We're going to talk about Tetris in next week's full-length episode, and it sort of feels like I'm doing that right now. I have a finite amount of bags, and I have to fit stuff in the bags, and then once I have the bags, I have to take those and fit them in the car. So as much as I enjoy Tetris in real life, this sort of, or not in real life, the real video game of Tetris, the sort of life Tetris that I'm playing now is not so great. What is it about video games that makes sort of mundane tasks like that, like fitting boxes together in a finite space, so much fun when in real life it sucks so bad? I know, it's because when you get a full row of things in Tetris, the boxes disappear, whereas here, when you get a full row of things, your room just continues to get more and more of a mess.
You may have noticed just in your life that there's a lot of times that video games and movies will come out at the same time if they happen to interrelate to one another. Sometimes it's actually a video game based on a movie, and sometimes in the case of Telltale's Guardians of the Galaxy that just came out, it just happens to be the same franchise as a movie that's coming out at the same time, which is Volume 2. And both of those things are really great. And there is something to be said for video games releasing at the same time like that, because it does help sort of build hype. People are excited for the movies, they buy the game, but it also invites a lot of unfair comparisons in a way. You play that game and the Star-Lord looks nothing like Chris Pratt. He sort of kind of looks awful, but whatever. And then you have something like Spider-Man's Insomniac game that's coming out this year, but not tied into the release to Spider-Man Homecoming this summer, because they sort of want to make it their own separate, distinct thing. So there's positive and negatives there when it comes to timing releases that way.
So at the time of this recording, I'm facing down a pretty long car trip, 1,000 miles from Miami to home, and I am a little bit disappointed that playing video games on my phone or even looking at screens in the car makes me get really car sick. Is VR going to be the solution for this? I would love to be able to play video games when I'm on long car trips. I would love it. It would make things go so much faster. But I can't look at anything in the car, so I get really, really, really bored. So I'm wondering if VR headsets, do they counteract sort of that motion sickness of being in the car, or are you still kind of aware of it in your body? I don't know. It's something that I would love to test out. I mean, I would love to test out VR headsets in any capacity, but it would be kind of neat to see if that would work. I guess bringing those things into the car could be dangerous, because then you've got the problem of the driver who thinks he can do VR while he drives, which is maybe not so safe, but people play on their phones all the time anyway, so is it that much worse than that?
So we talked a little bit about ludonarrative dissonance in our last episode, which is when the narrative and the mechanics of the video game don't line up right. There's actually a trophy you can get in one of the Uncharted's that's called ludonarrative dissonance when you kill your 1,000th person, because the cutscenes and the gameplay have famously not lined up in those series. But when it's not always a bad thing or a game-breaking thing, you know? Like, Uncharted is still highly enjoyable, even as you're sort of like happy-go-lucky Nathan Drake in the cutscenes and Murder Rampage Nathan Drake in the gameplay. But putting that aside, like, they're still really fun games. But there is something special to be said when the actual gameplay sort of feeds into the narrative and actually, like, intertwines in a way that like you really couldn't see it in a movie because like the gameplay is so integral to the storyline. So if you can think of any games like that, please let us know.
It's officially summer for me now here in mid-May, but it's officially summer vacation, which means that I finally am going to have some time to really sit down and play some video games. So this is a big query out there to all you Talk This Side Quest loyal listeners. What video games should I play this summer? Because I feel like the world is sort of my oyster. Sort of. I mean, what do we have at home? We've got a PS4. We have DS's, the very old ones. I can play things on my iPhone. I have a computer. I need some recommendations because I've been out of the game for so long. I'm sure Emma will have plenty. So Emma, when you edit this, send me some recommendations. And also, what suggestions do you have for the podcast? We're trying some different stuff out on our Instagram. We've got a lot of sort of fun stuff going on our Facebook. But it's summertime. Both me and Emma are kind of done with our commitments that aren't summer commitments. So give us some suggestions. We're ready to work while we relax. Work hard, play hard, right?
We've expressed our support to the voice actor strike many times on this show, but I don't think anything really fully put in perspective to me just like how much hard work it must be to do voice acting, as listening to Persona 5, which in some cases is kind of poorly translated for something that's been delayed several times for localization, but the voice actors still somehow, even those really awkward lines, like sell them when they're actually speaking them. And they don't say every single line in that game because they would never leave the studio ever. We would not have this game out if they had to voice every single freaking line in this game. But like, just like all the little things they say too, like, you know, they say things that are same but different ways in different situations, and they have battle quotes, and they have, you know, special things that happen. It's just so much voice acting, especially for the main cast, that like, how are these people not being treated better? That's all I gotta say. And this would have been much worse of a game without them. Okay.
Okay, this was fun last time, so I'm going to take another BuzzFeed video game quiz called Which Iconic Video Game Hero Are You? First question, choose a controller. Let's see. Oh, the PlayStation one, obviously. What's my greatest strength? Respectful, honest, passionate, humble, focused, confident, brave, likable, sexy. I think I'm focused. That's a good one. What's my greatest weakness? Distant, stubborn, selfish. Oh, perfectionist. Haha, there it is. What's your guilty pleasure? Shopping, Netflix, snacking. Oh, it's either snacking or BuzzFeed. BuzzFeed. I hate that, but now you all know. Choose your weapon. The shell from, you know, Super Mario. Pick a sidekick. Sorry, I don't have time to talk what it is. Oh, there's a dog. I'm gonna pick the dog. I think I'm running out of time. Who do I hate most? The Pac-Man beasts. I'm Lara Croft. The lifestyle of the young and the wealthy. Wow, I never really thought of myself as a Lara Croft, but that's kind of fun.
I don't have a lot of friends that actually like video games to the extent that I do. I think most of them are like, oh yeah, video games are fun in sort of this abstract way, but there's certainly no one who I know who plays them quite as much as me, and that includes Malin. But I was trying to think if I knew any games that would be particularly good for people to sort of introduce people to gaming. I know a lot of people have been saying that the new Zelda Breath of the Wild is really good for non-gamers because sort of the whole point of it is wandering around figuring out what you can do. So it's sort of a intro with low pressure onto how to play a video game. But it's hard, sort of, because I feel like my mindset is so shifted. Like, I can pick up things easily, and I feel like things make a lot of sense, but that's just because I've played so many video games in my life that I've had that video game logic sort of ingrained into me, especially when it comes to all the numbers and RPGs and that sort of stuff.
So all I can talk about is college graduation, because that's all that's on my mind right now. But it's got me thinking about the video games that I played the summer after high school. Emma and I talk about Kingdom Hearts a lot, because it was one of the games that we really grew up with as kids. But as we're all waiting for Kingdom Hearts 3 right now, I'm sure we all remember, there was a big gap between Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts 2. So we played Kingdom Hearts tons and tons and tons when we were little kids, but by the time Kingdom Hearts 2 came out, it was like, well, I haven't really played Chain of Memories yet, and the beginning of this game is weird, we're not even playing as Sora, so we didn't play it all the way through when it first came out. I didn't actually finish Kingdom Hearts 2 for the first and only time so far until the summer after high school, pretty much right about when I was going to go to college. And that was a video game moment for me that I really felt like, wow, like, this is the end of an era. I'm growing up. I distinctly remember finishing Kingdom Hearts 2 and feeling this sense of melancholy because this thing was finished. Something I'm feeling now, too.
Hello, everybody. This is your other host, Emma. Thank you so much, as always, for giving us a listen. We will be back next week with a full episode, and we'll actually be recording at the same place, which will be amazing and will make my job much easier, and will hopefully make the audio on your episodes sound much better than it has been these past few episodes. We really do apologize for that. But we hope you enjoyed our side quest episode. Remember to follow us on all of our social media channels for fun features, and when you follow us, make sure you interact with us there too. We love to talk to people about all the stuff we talk about on this show besides just each other. So it's all at Talk This Podcast, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Thank you so much in advance. And tell all your friends about us, because we are friendly people and we love friends. And as always, from us here at Talk This Podcast, have a great day.